So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I started this channel in about 2018, and I posted a few videos because I really had the intent to be committed to doing YouTube. But unfortunately that commitment sort of wavered, and here I am 2 years later, and looking to restart and to revise the channel. What is this channel about? This is the Healer Grace. I'll be doing this channel from two different perspectives. One, I am a therapist. I'm a trained therapist in my country, in Trinidad and Tobago. And so I really want to be in a position to inspire and to motivate others to just chart the course of life and to be able to do so successfully. Being able to share the tools that I have learned and that I use with clients and with others. Also, I am a Christian, which is of great importance to me. And so this is who I am, and I want to be able to share this with others, and again to do the same, to motivate and inspire, and to really be able to strengthen others, with all the challenges that we faced in life. And so you would see videos from this channel coming from those perspectives, from a therapeutic perspective as well as from a Christian and a biblical perspective. So again, welcome. What are we talking about today? We are talking about forgiveness. That big word, forgiveness. It is something that is very difficult to do at times, depending on the level of hurt that you have experienced. It is something that is a process, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it happens in one instance. But what I would like to share is a recent experience I had, and how I myself have been working through the process even when I did not necessarily realize that I needed to forgive even further. And so a few weeks ago, I was fasting because as a Christian, this is something that we practice from time to time. I was fasting because, with certain circumstances in life and things not working out the way I expected, I really wanted to hear from God. And I was saying, Lord, what are the answers? I would like to know what are the reasons why certain things are not working out, why I have not accomplished certain things in my life as yet. What is the hindrance? What is the key? Please show me. And in fasting, and as I was lying there, the Holy Spirit said to me, forgiveness. And I was like, forgiveness? As far as I'm concerned, I'm good. I have forgiven everyone I need to forgive in my life. And the Lord was saying to me, no, forgiveness. And he began showing me some of the people in my life I needed to forgive. Now, what I typically would do with persons who have hurt me, I would keep my distance. And I would say I forgive them, but I don't necessarily trust them. And you would find that I don't draw close to those people, just because there's that barrier there and you don't want to get hurt again. But the Lord was saying to me, in saying that I don't trust them, it could turn out to be, or it could actually be unforgiveness, where you have not actually forgiven them. So you can't really, be in the same space, interact properly with them, and that sort of thing, just because you really haven't forgiven, even though you may be along the way, you may be on the process, but the process isn't complete. And so, he was showing me these things, and I was in awe. Because as I said, I thought I was good. What I really want to share with you guys today would be, in that process of fasting, 3 points that the Holy Spirit showed me in forgiveness. 3 things that we need to do in forgiveness. Because as I said, he showed me the list of persons that I needed to treat with, and it was a list. It literally was a list. People from the workplace, people from church, people from family, different persons who would have been close friends before, and so on. And one of the things he was saying to me is there are different levels of forgiveness. And when we say levels, let me explain what I mean. In the first instance, there are some people who you may not want to have a relationship with them. You may not want to regenerate a relationship with them, but you need to put the issue out of your mind. Because what the enemy does sometimes is he would quite often remind you of what they did to you. He would quite often bring that back to your remembrance. And so what you need to actively practice is putting the issue out of your mind, so that when it comes up and it keeps coming up, you keep placing it out of your mind. You keep replacing it with something else. Good thoughts, positive thoughts. You go do something else, do another activity that, you can switch from those thoughts of what the person did to you. And that's a part of the forgiveness process. Along those same lines, he was saying you need to stop talking about it. Because what we do in many instances when we are hurt, we talk and talk and talk, and we talk to friends and we talk to family about the issue. And in many instances, if people are not wise, right, so I was saying, so if you have persons around you who are not wise in terms of forgiveness, they would keep helping you to keep that wound open. And so you need to actively stop talking about it. And of course, I'm not saying that these things are easy to do, but I'm saying through the help of God, through the help of the Holy Spirit, you would be able to make it, because he was able to identify for me what I needed to do with the persons I needed to forgive. So at one level, there are people who you don't necessarily need to have a relationship with, but you need to put the issue out of your mind and you need to stop talking about it. And even as you're looking at this and I'm saying this, I'm sure names would start coming up for you of situations that you have, and because you keep talking about it and going over it again and again and again, it just keeps the wound open and raw. Okay, so that's the first level. That's those people who you need to, work on forgiveness by actively putting the issue out of your mind and by stop talking about it. Now, secondly, there are some people who you need to actually reach out to. And this is the second level of forgiveness. You need to actively reach out to some people. Depending on and again, God will show you who these people are as opposed to others. Depending on the nature of the relationship you previously had, there are some people you actually need to actively reach out to. Depending on how the relationship or the friendship ended or not ended, because it could be persons who related to you and you need to mend fences. There are people who it's not enough that you put the issue out of your mind, but that you actually reach out to them. And again, the Lord would show you who is who, or which is which circumstance you need to do what. Right? So that's another level. And it may possibly be you need to talk to them. You may need to send a text. You may need to WhatsApp. You may need to have some sort of communication. But you determine what kind of communication you're comfortable with. But there are persons you need to actively reach out to. You may not necessarily need to say, I forgive you. If you move to do that, you may do that. Because, depending on the circumstance, sometimes persons don't want to hear, I forgive you, because they thought they've done nothing wrong. You can perhaps say, whatever I may have done, could you forgive me? And that's a way of mending fences, even though to yourself you think you have not done anything, or you have not done anything to hurt this person. You can still, get to that place and reach out, and that's a way of mending fences. Or you can choose not to speak about forgiveness at all. Depending again on what the issue may have been, you can just reach out to show that you have forgiven and things have been mended. Thirdly, so the third level of forgiveness would be there are some relationships that you need to repair. There are some relationships that you need to repair. And again, this is very wide. For example, parental relationships. Many of us may have been hurt by parents in some way or the other. Depending on the nature of it, you may find that you need to actually seek to repair that relationship. And I want to be clear here, I'm not speaking about instances of abuse, because abuse in no way, shape or form, especially sexual abuse, that's a no-no. And in that event, I would say if you haven't already, you would need to seek a therapist and seek help for that specifically. However, we're talking about general issues of offense, issues of hurt feelings and so on, where, you just haven't been able to get to that place of forgiveness. So in some of these instances, you will need to actually seek to repair that relationship. And again, the Lord will tell you which relationships you actually need to seek to repair and develop and have communication and have a relationship over time with that person or those persons. So in going through this process, this is what was shown to me. This is what was demonstrated to me by the Holy Spirit, that you have these different levels of forgiveness. each person in your life who would have hurt you, who would have offended you in some way, would fall into different categories. And so it may not be the same for everyone. But again, this was the process I went through, and I really wanted to share it because I can tell you, when I did this and when I was obedient, it was like a weight fell off of my shoulders that I had not realized that I had. Because as I said before, I thought I was good. I thought I was okay. I did not think I really had a major issue with forgiveness. I'm not saying it may necessarily be a major issue. However, the Lord was saying to me in my period of fasting that you need to forgive. And so that means that it was operating as a hindrance in my life for whatever the Lord wanted to accomplish in my life. And so, this is a session on forgiveness. So I want to encourage you to let this be something that is active in your life, and to actually, take time and to begin the process for yourself, right? Because we want to be living intentionally. We want to be living purpose-filled lives. And, we just want to come to that place where we're operating in the perfect will of God for our lives. So thank you for watching. I hope this was a blessing to you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.